The Spirit of God is not God the Spirit. Most people are unaware of the fact that the Bible never speaks of God the Spirit. That's right, the phrase never appears in the Bible. Regardless of the translation or version of the Bible you use, the phrase does not appear in any. The phrase God the Spirit therefore finds its origin in tradition and not the Bible. Those who use the phrase God the Spirit argue that while the Bible does not contain the phrase, it does contain the concept. By the end of this video, we will see whether this claim is true or not. Before I consider whether the concept is biblical, consider with me what is found in the Bible. God's Spirit 9 times, Holy Spirit 7 times, Thy Spirit 4 times, Holy Spirit of God 1 time, Spirit of your Father 1 time, Spirit of Christ 2 times, Spirit of Jesus Christ 1 time, Spirit of His Son 1 time. Now would be a good time to pause the video and have a careful look at how the Bible refers to the Holy Spirit. Did you notice that the Holy Spirit belongs either to God or Christ? This will prove important later as we consider whether the phrase God the Spirit is biblical or not. Now, after considering what is in the Bible, note that as stated earlier, the phrase God the Spirit makes no appearances in the Bible. Those who believe and insist that God the Spirit is a biblical concept say that it is just a matter of semantics, and whether you say the Spirit of God or God the Spirit is really a matter of preference. It is really expressing the same, just worded differently. But are they right? Now, we have already seen that the biblical concept for the Spirit is always with reference to the one who possesses it. So, for instance, it is the Spirit of God, or put another way, God's Spirit. Does the phrase God the Spirit convey the same idea, or is it stating something completely different? Allow me to use a very simple illustration to reveal an important truth. Consider the phrase, the dog of Peter. Think for a moment as to what this phrase wants to convey. I think we all can agree that the dog belongs to Peter, or put another way, it's Peter's dog. Now let's change the order of the words to Peter the dog. Does this phrase still convey the same idea as the dog of Peter? I think we can all agree that it does not, but completely changes the meaning. As stated, the first phrase tells us that the dog belongs to Peter. The second phrase, however, loses that meaning. And now Peter becomes the dog. As you can see, the two phrases convey two totally different ideas, and therefore it is not simply a matter of semantics. Now, with that in mind, let's consider the Spirit of God versus God the Spirit. The first phrase conveys the idea that the Spirit belongs to God. It is God's Spirit. The second phrase, however, no longer conveys the same idea as the first, but rather the Spirit becomes God. Do you see the difference? It's not simply a matter of preference or semantics. It has to do with what the Bible is saying versus what it is not. Whether the Bible speaks of the Spirit of God or the Spirit of man, it always conveys the idea that the Spirit belongs to a being. Paul understood this when he wrote in 1 Corinthians 2:11, "For what man knoweth the things of a man, save the Spirit of man which is in him? Even so, the things of God knoweth no man but the Spirit of God." Paul understood that the spirit of a man is not a separate person to that man. And by using the words "even so," he understood it to be the same for the Spirit of God. It is not a separate being or person to God. Adherents of the teaching of God the Spirit, agree that there is not a single verse that contains the phrase, and this has led me to believe that there are two types of Christians: tradition-based Christians and Bible-based Christians. What type of Christian are you? I pray that you will study this out for yourself. Don't take my word. Don't take the word of your church. Be a Berean and study to see whether these things are so.